You know what that means, don't you? It means they're ready to go. Watch the lights. That's it, a super start by Damon Hill. Prost has got a bad one. Senna's coming up alongside the Frenchman, and Damon Hill leads into Cox. And up into second place from fourth on the grid goes the incredible Ayrton Senna ahead of Alain Prost. Schumacher is fourth, and off. That looks like Andretti off to me. He's done it again. Yet again, he has failed to start properly, and he is out of the race almost as soon as it's begun. Andretti having a terrible season. He's used to starting rolling starts in America, but never mind. Here comes Hill down the hangar straight in the Williams Renault, leading Ayrton Senna. Now, is the Brazilian going to be able to stay ahead of Prost? Because Prost has undoubtedly got more horsepower in the Williams Renault than Ayrton Senna in the Ford, although Senna, don't forget, is using the more powerful pneumatic valve engine from Ford, as the Benettons have been this season. But Hill is taking the opportunity to extend his lead, and Prost has got to get past Senna to get to grips with the Englishman. Schumacher is in fourth place, Brundle is in fifth place, Riccardo Patrese is sixth in the Benetton, and Prost is going to have a go as they come through to complete the first lap, but he's not going to succeed. They're into the left-hander at Priory and Brooklands, then the two right-handers at Luffield to the completion of lap 1 with 58 to go, and Patrese is closing up on Alain Prost with Brundle behind him. There's Schumacher in fourth position. So it is Williams Renault leading. It's McLaren second, Williams Renault is third, then the Benetton fourth. In fifth position, there's Brundle, sixth is Patrese, seventh is Johnny Herbert, eighth is Alesi, ninth is Blundell, 10th is Alesi, 11th is Derek Warwick, and the rest of them go pouring through. A great start, Jackie.
Very, very good for Damon Hill, because here he's got a situation which is fine, but we've got a shot of Andretti here having his problem in the very first lap. He comes into Copse, and you got it right wrong, absolutely losing it in reverse through into the gravel pit. The race will be over for him. He cannot get out. Now, was touched by someone else, or he went off on his own, we weren't able to see. But Damon Hill right now is gaining enormously with regards to the Prost situation by being ahead of Senna. Senna certainly doesn't want to let Prost through, but of course one of the great things about Alain Prost is his intelligence. He has got the presence of mind to wait until it's the right moment to go for it with him, and he's not going to do it there. Senna was defending his position there by using the centre of the road going into bridge. He wasn't giving any opportunity to Prost to move over and get him. It's most likely that he will do it there. It's the more advantageous place.
And Schumacher is closing up on Prost. We got a great battle for second position. We got a great leader. It was 1.4 seconds at the end of the first lap, and Damon Hill goes through. Is he extending his lead over Ayrton Senna? Yes, he is. It's nearly 2 seconds now. So Damon Hill is easing away. There's the reason. Quickest lap, 133.4 miles an hour, as Prost goes for Senna, who will probably be taking a certain amount of sardonic satisfaction from the fact that he's holding his great rival back and letting Damon Hill pull away in the lead. The Englishman leads, Brazilian second, Frenchman third, German fourth, Englishman Martin Brundle is in fifth position, Italian Riccardo Patrese is in sixth place. Behind Patrese, Johnny Herbert, Alesi is eighth, Blundell is ninth, Berger is 10th, Warwick is in 11th place, and Rubens Barrichello is in 12th position, and he's gained several places because he started 15th. You're watching Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. Well, Senna, who had problems getting the setup of his car right in the warm-up, seems to have worked the oracle, and you watch Alain Prost closing. Now, this is where he's going to make his effort. Senna knows and moves across with Prost. And that's Ayrton Senna in front. Now, Ayrton Senna is perfectly entitled to go anywhere on the circuit that he wants to, provided he does not blatantly weave his McLaren Ford. He is in front, so he can take the line. And if, in doing so, he can block Alain Prost, so much to the good as far as he's concerned.
The other thing that Alain Prost will be thinking about is aerodynamics. The air behind his car gets spoiled, so therefore as far as Senna's concerned, he's got no air problems, but Alain Prost does have air problems. When you're this close, your front wings don't work so much as he looks. He can't do it there. It seems to me that Senna's a little faster through here. He was faster through in the last lap. You can see that Alain Prost is losing a bit there, and he's therefore not getting the chance in this next straight, which is Hangar Straight, to slingshot Ayrton Senna. Although he gains on him, and Prost has to keep his eye on Schumacher. He's not a threat at the present time. He won't do it there. The best chance is into bridge for him, but whether Senna will give him the space is another matter. This, in the meantime, of course, has given Damon Hill. And there is Andretti walking back, very upset. It looks to me as if he may have been touched by another car, the anger that he's showing. Whether it was his own fault or another car hit him is, of course, still the same result. Look at Prost now, going through Abbey. This is the time for it. He's going to try and do it, but of course he's not getting much space. Senna's not giving him it. In the meantime, Damon is, of course, using this to his advantage. He's pulling out this handsome lead, which, of course, then Prost would have to try and catch if he does get past Senna, which I'm sure he will.
Well, Damon Hill is leading now on lap 4 out of 59 by 2.3 seconds and building. And Michael Andretti must feel dreadful. That's the 5th time in 9 races that he has retired, and retired in the very early stages. He just cannot seem to master the technique of getting away from a standing start, although maybe, as Jackie says, he was touched by somebody. Meantime, this great fight for second position at Silverstone, there it is, and they are Senna, Prost, Schumacher, and 3 seconds behind them, Martin Brundle in the Ligier Renault, and 1.5 seconds behind him is Riccardo Patrese in 6th place. Johnny Herbert is still 7th, Alesi is 8th, Blundell is in 9th position, so the 2 Ligier Renaults are well up. Derek Warwick is still 10th, Barrichello is 11th, Gerhard Berger is 12th, and just let's enjoy this battle for second. Senna on the right, Prost in the blue and white and yellow Williams, behind both of them the yellow and green Benetton of Michael Schumacher, and Prost is going for it, and he's done it! He's done it! He hasn't! My goodness, he hasn't! Wow, that was very, very fraught indeed. Did you see the way the Williams got out of shape there? Senna's not having any of that. No, you won't, he says, and retains his second place, and because of that, Prost lost a bit of momentum, and Michael Schumacher is right with him, and Senna has slightly extended his lead over the Williams Renault, and I have little doubt that Damon Hill will be further ahead of all of them. We're with Schumacher. Let's watch this and see what happens. We're with Michael Schumacher pursuing in the Benetton. The light comes on, incidentally, on the dashboard when the rev limiter starts to operate, and he just flicks the gears and changes them. There he goes again. They are operating the semi-automatic gearbox, or in the case of the McLaren Ford, the virtually automatic gearbox, because all the changes are programmed into the gearbox according to the configuration of the circuit. And look at the lead that Damon Hill has got on lap 6 out of 59. These three are holding each other up. Prost goes for it again. And yet again, Senna closes the door, politely but firmly. Senna ahead, we're with Prost. And the fastest lap so far, Damon Hill, 1:26.71, compared with the lap record, 1:22.5. But as I always say, it's early days. They have almost a full fuel load as Prost right up to Senna now as they come to bridge. This is the incredible 160-mile-an-hour corner. We're looking back from Senna at Prost and Schumacher. You can see Ayrton Senna's McLaren suspension bobbing up and down, and you can see underneath the wing. Well, now we're looking forward from Prost to Senna. We have cameras on Senna's car, on Prost's car, and on Schumacher's car. Second, third, and fourth. I'll have it now, says Alain Prost. I think I'm going to take second place. I don't think you are, says Ayrton Senna. Yes, I am. No. This is absolutely sensational stuff. Just look at Schumacher behind them too. This is the best scrap in the leading places that we've had all season, no doubt about it.
I think Alan Prost is going to be a little upset, in fact, because I think he feels now that Ayrton was cramping him there on the way through. He almost had the pass. I think sooner or later, as we see it now, he's just made that pass very strongly. If he holds the tight line in, he's okay. And Schumacher now is obviously in a position to threaten Senna. Schumacher will incidentally be much more aggressive on Senna than Alan Prost was. Schumacher's younger, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, full of enthusiasm. Ayrton Senna may have got his tyre temperatures a wee bit up, and there you're with Schumacher getting close to Ayrton Senna. And watch this young man. He's going to give him a real push, and he has done it. He's gone through. No, he hasn't. They were side by side. You can see the correction that Schumacher had to make. He was surprised, looking behind from Ayrton Senna's car. Very good picture of Schumacher. Schumacher not hitting the curve, being very clean, using a different piece of road sometimes than Senna. Again, from Schumacher's car, looking forward. I think there's a reasonable chance he'll get Senna, but look at the advantage already taken by Prost. He's just in the distance. There he is there. He's a long way ahead. Really, Ayrton Senna was holding him up, also holding Schumacher up. It's a question as to now whether the young lion can have a go at the three-time world champion master. I think he'll pass him, and I think he will have a go at him more aggressively than Alan Prost did.